Hello, so I'm here today at Dorks Music checking out the Buffet range of bass clarinets. So Buffet have always been one of the biggest manufacturers of clarinets, and they've also always made great bass clarinets. So I'm going to run you through the range today, starting off with the 1180, which is this one here, which is the low E flat, and then I do have the Prestige and the Tosca as well, which are the low C models. So to start off, I'm just going to play you a little bit more on this Buffet 1180, which, as I said, is the one down to low E flat. So, as you can hear, this Buffet 1180 bass clarinet is a lot of fun to play, and it speaks really cleanly across the range. The first point to make about this is that it's a low E-flat bass clarinet. So if you're not familiar with bass clarinets, a normal B-flat clarinet will go down to a bottom E, so something like... So that would be the written range. Almost every bass clarinet goes down to at least an E-flat. So we've got that extra note, and that's where this bass clarinet is really resonating. So if you're a professional player playing in orchestras, you might find that you need the low C. But if you're kind of getting your first bass clarinet or upgrading, a lot of people actually prefer the low E flat ones because they feel a little bit nimble and they can be perfect kind of for playing in jazz, playing in wind bands, etc. It's worth mentioning, although this is kind of the cheapest of the Buffet clarinets I've got here today, it is still going to set you back a good few £1,000s. I mean, it's a wooden clarinet from Buffet. It's a good clarinet, so it's going to cost you a decent amount of money, but it is a significant saving over the low C ones. It's worth mentioning as well, there are cheaper bass clarinets you can get. You can get plastic bass clarinets, but you just want to be a little bit careful with them, because whilst some of them are kind of through the more reputable brands, are pretty decent, there are others that are not good at all and will give you a lot of grief trying to play them. I had an experience when I was at school that I think a lot of players had, which is you get the one that belongs to the school or music service that hasn't been maintained, been sitting around in the cupboard for years. It's by a possibly not great brand, and I always thought I couldn't play the bass clarinet. Actually just turned out that I'd not been given an instrument that works. So if you go with something like this Buffet, you know you're getting a great instrument and it's going to work for you. As I mentioned, it speaks really nicely across the whole range. You're going to have no problems there. I really like the key work on these Buffets. It feels very nice and compact, quite similar to a B-flat clarinet, so it's easy for switching over. Again, some other brands, the key work's a bit bigger, so they can feel a bit clunky to get around, but this works really nicely for me. It's worth adding as well, comes with some nice accessories. So it's got this rather neat case here, which is again very compact, a nice design. So it's just a nice addition to go with the clarinet. But anyway, I'm going to move on now, and we're going to start moving on to the two low C bass clarinets, and also moving up in price somewhat. So next, I'm going to have a bit of the play on the Buffet Prestige bass clarinet. So as you can hear, it's another really lovely bass clarinet to play. I would say actually this one to me feels easier to play than the 1180. It's, I guess, kind of the step up you'd expect, kind of paying that extra money. Everything seems to speak really easily, really nicely. One thing you do find on these low C bass clarinets, because of the extended range, there's also kind of a bit of the change in the way the octave system works, or the register system even. So whereas the 1180 just has the one vent for the octave, this Prestige has two. So I don't know if you can see on here, there's an extra vent kind of on the crook. And what that does is it really helps out the upper register, and particularly when you just cross over the break. So it's a bit of a nicer sound around that area that's typically stuffy, the kind of it's kind of, it's a lot cleaner actually than on the bass clarinets, typically the low E flat ones that only had that 1 octave vent. So that's kind of a really nice feature. Obviously as well, it's got the extended range right down to the bottom C, so you get that real richness, that. And on this bass clarinet, that's hugely satisfying to play. It just pops out. I always enjoy playing low C bass clarinets because they make my glasses vibrate and my eyes go a bit wobbly. It's particularly when you get down to the bottom C. But that's a really lovely thing about this. And actually, the depth of the sound is something that's really amazing about this clarinet. The kind of it's just got a real kind of quality depth to the sound. It's a very big sound. Again, the key work feels fairly compact. Obviously, because it's down to the low C, it's got a few extra keys to the little fingers to worry about. But generally, it all feels very nicely under the fingers. So really, kind of, if you're looking through a really good low C bass clarinet, you can't really go wrong with these. It's a fantastic instrument, and I think there's a reason that these are so popular. As with the other one, it does come with a very nice case as well, slightly different, and of course it's bigger because you've got down to the low C. But again, it's nice to see Buffet adding in all of these nice accessories to go with it. So I think now I'm going to move on and I'm going to play our absolutely top of the range one, the Buffet Tosca. So again, as you can hear, a really lovely bass clarinet. And I have to say, this one is my favourite out of the three straight away, which is probably no surprise given it's the most expensive and it's the absolute kind of flagship, top of the range bass from Buffet. There are a couple of kind of technical points I just want to cover on it quickly, just to show you what the difference is mainly between this one and the Prestige, and kind of what you're getting for that extra money you're playing. So you might have noticed on that extract I played, I deliberately chose something that's quite difficult, kind of across the break, because that's the area where you often hear the most difference between bass clarinets. It's kind of often the nastiest, trickiest area in the bass clarinet. And something that Buffet have done on this Tosca that's really nice is when you play a B flat, the throat B flat, they've actually added an extra vent just for that note. I'm not sure if you can see it. When I play the B flat, where's it gone round here? So normally if I played an A, nothing opens. Then when I go to the B flat, this extra vent opens as well as the one that would usually open on the octave key. And that gives that B flat kind of an extra clarity and kind of strength to the sound. A couple of other features that are worth noting on this as well is this one. It's actually a one piece. The kind of the bottom joint is all in one piece. So on the Prestige, there is actually a join kind of before the very lowest notes, whereas on this they've gone through it all in one piece. Another very nice thing, if I kind of spin round to the back of the bass clarinet, is the roller we've got here on this key here. And I should have actually pointed these out on the Prestige as well. The Prestige has the same set of keys, so this is the kind of an extra low E flat key here, which is nice. So all low C basses have these, but this is kind of an extra one not all of them have for the low E flat. And the roller on this key here is only on the Tosca model, so it's quite nice to get that in there as well. They have also slightly changed some of the key work, so the shaping of the key work is slightly different. It's got this very kind of nice rounded feel to it. And as well, kind of the bore is largely based on this one, on the kind of the Tosca B flat and A clarinets as well. So basically they've taken all their top developments and put them onto this flagship bass clarinet model. Like with the Prestige, it's got a really rich, warm core sound. It's kind of but what I would say about it is, as well as having that kind of really rich, warm sound. This clarinet to me feels a little bit more nimble than the Prestige. It just feels like everything speaks and pops out with no problem at all. But there doesn't appear to be any sacrifice in the sound quality at all. It's still got this amazing rich sound right the way down to that bottom. See that? I mean, I could sit and play that bottom C all day. It's such a kind of warm, resonant sound. Just one other little technical detail I should mention as well, again, this is common with the Prestige, is that the crook is adjustable here, so you can just pull the crook in and out to adjust the tuning, and that's what you find on a lot of low C bass clarinets as well. And there is a rather nice adjusting screw in here as well, just to kind of adjusting the venting on the crook. So that's kind of some of the technical details on this bass clarinet, and as you can hear, it's got a really lovely sound. So I guess the question is, which of these three beautiful buffet bass clarinets should you pick? I would say if money is no object, go for the Tosca. It's an incredible instrument. You'll enjoy playing this. You get a lifetime of playing out of this. Beautiful sound, speaks easily across the range. You've got that low C you'll need. Really excellent choice, can't go wrong. The Prestige is maybe for people who aren't quite ready to spend as much as the Tosca. It's still a brilliant model, and actually through a long time, I think I'm right in saying that the Prestige was the flagship model, and then the Tosca was added on top of that. So the Prestiges are still absolutely brilliant bass clarinets. Again, if you don't want to stretch to playing a low C, paying through a low C, or maybe you don't need the low C, for example, if you're a jazz player or you're just not playing repertoire that needs it, then the 1180 could be perfect either as a first bass, an upgrade bass, for playing in wind bands, for playing jazz, etc. But really kind of we're spoiled for choice with this range. So try them out for yourselves, see what you think. I mean, if you are trying the absolute top of the line ones, probably the others you might consider trying the Selmer Low C bass clarinet, and there are models from Yamaha and Ubel as well, all available from Dorks Music, so do come down and try them out. But anyway, let us know what you think about all of these bass clarinets. And actually, before I finish, I've realised I've missed out something on this one that I've added on all the others, which is the case, and this is not to be missed on this one, because this is the best case out of all of them. This is, I think, a brilliant case. You've got somewhere for your music. It's a very nice, shiny, sleek design. I particularly like on the back as well, you've got this movable padding, so it's going to be comfortable because these things are heavy to carry around. But as you would expect through a bass clarinet with this price tag, it's got a suitably swanky case to match. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Let us know what you think of all the bass clarinets, and I hope you get a chance to try some of them for yourself.